on. Hi guys, welcome to NTV. నేను అశ్వతి బాలకృష్ణన్. సో మూవీ మానియాక్స్ అందరికీ కూడా పొంగల్ ఈసారి ముందు నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయిపోయిందని చెప్పొచ్చు. బికాస్ దిస్ సంక్రాంతి మన ఫేవరెట్ హీరోస్ బడా హీరోస్ ఇద్దరు కలిసి టూ బ్యూటిఫుల్ మూవీస్తో మన ముందుకు రాబోతున్నారు అనమాట. ఒకటి వీరసింహారెడ్డి అయితే మరొకటి మీ అందరికీ తెలిసిందే వాల్తేరు వీరయ్య. ఓకే, మరి మనందరికీ ఇన్స్టాల్మెంట్లో మంచి సర్ప్రైజెస్ ఇస్తూ ఉన్నారు వాళ్ళందరూ. సో ఈ మధ్యనే వీరసింహారెడ్డి నుంచి ఒక స్పెషల్ నంబర్ రిలీజ్ అయింది. యూ ఆల్ నో దాట్. అండ్ మన అందరం కూడా హుక్ అయిపోయాం కదా, మా బావ మనోబావలు దెబ్బతిన్నారో. మరి ఆ పాటలో మన బాలయ్య బాబు గారితో స్టెప్పులు వేసిన చంద్రిక రవి యోవతర్స్ బోలెడన్ని విషయాలు మనం మాట్లాడుకోబోతున్నాం. సో లెట్స్ వెల్కమ్ హర్. హాయ్ చంద్రిక.
Hi, how are you? That was wonderful singing. I love that.
Thank you, Chandrika. So
you have some hidden talents.
Of course, yeah. So how was it? Balaya Babu Garu is like favorite for all of us.
Absolutely.
I need not say that. So how was it working with him? How was it, dancing along with him?
It literally feels like a dream come true. Like even you saying that, I get like
you get
goosebumps because it means a lot for me being a girl from a small town in Australia, born there. And I've always wanted to do Indian cinema and I wanted to do it my way. So to have such an incredible launch pad with someone so great, it's like this is like a movie in itself,
I think this is a launch for you too.
100%.
To Tollywood.
100%. I think that it couldn't have been done better under the best movie banner, under an incredible director, Taman sir, everything is just so, it's just perfect. Like I couldn't have planned it better.
Right. So welcome to Tollywood as well.
Thank you. It's been a warm welcome.
So how are Telugu audience treating you so far?
Honestly, I did have a little bit of reservations because I am doing a special song. There can be certain comments or things that were said, but nothing has been said. It's been incredibly just love and support and appreciation for me working with someone of that stature.
Correct.
And I think people understand that obviously I'm an artist because they're not just going to put anyone dancing next to Balaya sir on that level. So it's been incredible, the love and support that everyone's been giving me. My parents are getting it. Like it's spread to like everyone around me and I couldn't be more thankful. It's the most warm welcome.
So can't wait for the complete song to get released.
I can't wait either.
Correct. So we can't just stop tapping our feet for that song. So we are just loving it.
That's how I felt. Like shooting time, obviously they're not playing the whole song. We're taking shot by shot.
Yeah.
Where I would be sitting there and I'm like, can you guys like keep playing the song? I just want to keep listening to it.
Vibe to that
it's
song,
such a song. Like I've played it non-stop since it came out on repeat. Like on literally repeat.
So that is the song on loop for you.
100%. And I think as a Pakka South Indian, it resonates with us a little more because it's such a massy song.
So I should say you are a global citizen, right?
100%.
So you're from every part of the globe.
100%. I was born in Australia. My parents are Singaporean, but Tamil Malayali, and I live in LA and I work in India.
Sir, India map మొత్తం ఉంది సార్ దగ్గర.
So I've made sure
not India map, complete globe ఉంది.
I've made sure I've put like the Indian Australian mark everywhere I've gone. It's very important to me to show that I'm still very much a South Indian girl, no matter what.
Okay, so you are from LA, right? You
Yes,
live
I live in LA,
but
yeah.
how come you come to this?
So I still do work there.
Okay.
I'm working on 3 shows that I'm writing in LA. I still do the auditioning.
You're a writer.
Well, I've been very passionate about film my whole life, and especially because in the West, and not just the West actually, even in India, we don't see a lot of girls like me that actually have training, that have the education in acting or dancing or modeling or whatever it may be.
Okay.
And because of that, I've had to create my own niche in everything I've done.
Okay.
So these 3 shows that I'm working on, one is a cooking show because I love cooking.
Okay, complete entertainment is your niche?
It's all, one is a scripted show, it's based on my life. One is a travel show, one's a cooking show. And I'm working on all of those. But India's always had my heart.
Okay.
So I split my time as...
I think you're a lifestyle influencer.
I wouldn't like to say influencer. I think that because I've lived a certain lifestyle my whole life, I would like people to see that, without me, trying to push it down anyone or anything like that, like, hello, buy a product. It's more so I would like to show that the independence that I've had as a woman and the choices I've made in my life and career, I want people to be a part of it because the truth is I wouldn't be here today without followers and fans.
100%,
I would just be an artist.
We're always in debt for them.
I'm doing it for them and I have such a good following of people that love me for who I am, unapologetically, what I do. So I like being able to balance both my Hollywood lifestyle and, Indian, Tollywood, Collywood lifestyle as well.
Yeah. So parents are from South India and you live in LA. That's all fine. But how come you come into this Telugu land?
So this is, my second Telugu film. The first one was a Telugu remake of my Tamil film.
Okay.
So that was very small compared to
Very
this, obviously.
small. Okay.
Gopi Chand sir had actually messaged me some months before this song we had done.
Okay.
And he had said, we're doing this film. I would love for you to be in it. I don't know in what capacity, but we're going to have you in it.
So
and I was
that's
like, okay.
how you came into
yeah,
this
so
Veera
I
Simha
was like, great, I'll wait for your call. Whatever it is that you want me to do, I'll do it. Because I'm also the type of artist that knows that no matter how small your role is, it is beneficial to a film.
Okay.
As an actor who's trained my whole life, that's what we're taught, especially in the West. We're not taught that just because you're pretty, you should only do heroine roles. You can, I would do a role as an extra. I've done extra roles before. So he mentioned that to me and I looked forward to the call, and then he called and said, look, we've got this song and you're the only person that can do this.
You're the lead in that complete
literally
dance.
And also because it's a very sensual song, there's a line that you can't cross, otherwise it becomes too sexy or it looks fake, and it's also with Balia sir.
Yeah.
So you need to have a certain level of,
So,
when you bring it.
To be frank, we all love Babu Garu, but then we are a bit of scared, going to him and taking pictures. We are a bit
100%.
scared because sometimes he's so aggressive, but that is also, we love it. So how do you think the working experiences, any moments like that?
So honestly, going into it, I thought that was a relationship I was going to have with Balia sir. I thought it was going to be, we take the shot, and then I go my way, he goes his way, and we don't speak.
Okay.
From the first day itself, Balia sir made me come and sit down next to him. He asked me if I wanted coffee. He was showing me articles on his institutions. He would bring his iPad one day and show me videos of, his father and his films. We talked about my family. He was so intrigued in the fact that I'm from a Western culture, but I'm so well versed in Indian culture and religion and prayers and everything. Even on the last day, I was still filming. Sir had finished before me. He walked all the way across the set to come and say bye to me, say bye, gave me a hug and left. And everyone told me, Chandrika, do you know how lucky you are for that?
Correct.
And I said, I genuinely believe it's because I've done some good in my life. You attract good people. You attract respect from other people. And for me, that was like, it was my... how to say, it was like a pat on the back for me. It was like, someone like Balia sir respects you as an artist and a person. He didn't make me feel like this outsider that came from Australia and LA and I'm this new junior artist. He didn't make me feel like that.
Okay.
So I was very taken aback because I was in the mind space of, I'm never going to speak to sir. We're just sharing screen space and that's it. That's what I anticipated, but it wasn't the case. He literally is like such a humble, beautiful soul. It was so incredible to work with him.
So to dance to this song, to get involved into this song, it takes forever to decode the language, I guess.
100%.
So how was it all possible to you?
I'm a perfectionist in everything I do. I do everything 110%. Even if it's something as little as making a dish, if you follow me on Instagram, my presentation on my plates are very, like everything I do is 100% professionalism. But doing something like this, I had to do it at like 300%. Because not only am I dancing with Shekhar Master Sir's dancers who are on some crazy level of performance, Shekhar Master Sir also knows I'm a dancer, so they're expecting something of me. And then I'm dancing with Balia Sir, who has the energy of 10 of us in one person at his age. And then I also had to remember the language, which is new to me. It's very new to me.
You need to decode the language.
Decode the language, emote it properly to what Gopi Chand sir wants. And I think it was God's grace that I managed to do it well. Nice. I definitely had a lot of support.
It doesn't look like you don't know Telugu.
Thank you. That was very important for me, and I've said this in many interviews. I didn't want to just be another girl, whether South Indian, North Indian, or non-Indian, that we bring all the actresses into our Indian cinema. I didn't want to be another actress that didn't know what she was speaking about and didn't do it properly. Because you can see it on screen. And for me, it's a respect thing. I want to respect your culture. I want to respect your language. I don't want to just, I'm doing one song, I'm going to disappear somewhere and come back and do another song. I didn't want that. So I really took it upon me to constantly learn the script, if you ask Gopi Chand sir, he even told me, he was like, you're very hardworking, you're always staring at the script.
Oh.
Because I wanted to make sure I did it properly. Because people will notice if I didn't do it properly.
Correct, of course.
And plus, it's Balia sir's fans.
Fans,
So
correct.
I know they're even more watching, like, are you doing it well? Are you doing it properly?
Actually, we can't take our eyes off from a Balaya, but you, the way you are performing, we can't take off our eyes from you.
Thank you. I
actually.
really appreciate
You know?
that. I really appreciate that. I mean, that's a huge compliment to say that I'm
Definitely.
able to take up a screen space next to someone of that stature.
Huge.
He's literally the god of masses, you know.
Correct.
To be able to have people say that to me, I really am grateful for all the years of training that I've done, because it's brought me to this moment.
Yeah. So every stage is a learning stage. You
100%.
know that.
100%.
So what is that one thing you learned and unlearned from this thing? Like,
I learned that hard work and dedication always pays off. It was very important for me to have recognition, because this is the perfect launch pad for me. Yes, I've done other films and things before, but I've been very particular about being a person about women's empowerment and you know, telling women to be confident in themselves. You can wear a pattu sari, you can wear a bikini. It doesn't matter if you wear this. If you walk with the same confidence,
you need to wear the confidence
You
first.
wear the confidence in anything you do in life. You know, my parents told me from a young age, if you want to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can be. You have to be 100% in everything you do.
I like this.
And so for me, that's what I learned, that it finally paid off in the right way. It was exactly how I wanted. I wanted to show that I can be this sensual character, but no one can ever typecast me. They can't say, oh, she's not an actress. I've got acting training. I've got dancing training. I was good enough to act opposite Balia sir, you know. The one thing I unlearned, I think, was maybe pressure. I tend to put too much pressure on myself. And, you know, I actually hurt my back during the shoot, but I kept going because I knew that I had prayed for a moment like this.
Okay.
On the last day of shot, actually, when you see the full song come out, I know exactly when it was. There were scenes where I had to put my face this way so the tears would go straight and not down my face. And then immediately take shot, and then I would go and apologize to Sir, Shekhar sir and Gopi Chand sir and say, I'm so sorry, like I'm in pain. And they both told me, you will never know that you are in pain. No one would ever be able to tell.
Correct.
But I had also put so much pressure on myself. So when I saw the lyrical, I was like, oh my God, why did I put so much pressure on myself? Like, I have everything in me already to be this performer and artist, you know? So that's definitely something I unlearned. Because I'm glad I unlearned it, because the love and support that I've had has taught me that you are good enough. You don't need to...
That's what you need.
You know, you have everything in you already. And
So
again, it goes back to what I want to tell women. If you believe in yourself, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it.
100%.
You can do it.
I love it. So whatever the work you do, just wear the confidence.
Just have the confidence, you know, do the work, do the time, do the lessons, whatever it is that you need to do to be the best at what it is that you want to do.
All right. So cooking is all fine. You're passionate cook chef.
100%,
I understand. So how come your interest moved towards the dancing and all?
I've been dancing and acting since I was 3. Actually, I started musical theatre at the age of 3.
The background is
I started at the age of 3. I've started dancing at the age of 3. I learned Kathak, Bharatanatyam, Odissi, Bollywood, folk, ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop. I started from a young age because, you know, my parents always say they have memories of me standing on tables and saying, my name is Chandrika Ravi, the whole world is going to know my name. So they knew I had a passion for something, but they always told me, if you want to do this, you need to do the training. You cannot walk into a production house, you cannot walk into an audition, you cannot walk in front of a director and they say you're not good enough. If they want you to do a ballet dance, you should be able to do it. If they want you to do belly dance, you should be able to do it. You have to train in what is needed from you. And I've always wanted to do Indian cinema. American cinema is part of my life as well. But as a dancer, nothing compares to Indian cinema. Because I can bring everything together, whether it's my modeling experience, my dancing experience, acting experience. So from a young age, this is all I've ever wanted to do. It was just taking the steps, you know. When I did Miss World, obviously a lot of opportunities came, but I also wanted to go to LA and work and learn the discipline, which is something that I think is very different to here. Here, if you kind of have a look, it's movie after movie after movie. In LA, it doesn't matter who you are, you're still auditioning, you're still going up against other incredible actors. You know, you're getting a no, and then still having the, no, I still want to do this, I'm still going to fight, I'm still going to do, I have the dedication, I have the discipline to keep going. So I'm glad that I came here with that. I didn't just come and take every silver spoon that was given to me. So yeah, it's all I've ever known.
So our brown parents definitely have this habit, like whenever the relatives come in, they say, "Hey, come on, show something, like sing a song or dance, something like that." So did you
Um,
experience such
I
things?
was the one, so it's funny growing up in Australia. We would go back to Singapore a lot for holidays to visit my grandparents and family.
Yeah.
I would make scripts and like tell my cousins, okay, this is your part, you're saying this. Okay, this is the dance I've created, this is your step. Okay, now we're going to perform in front of the home family. That was always my thing. Like, it's always
Okay.
been my thing. I've been a real, like, I don't want to say show pony, but I've been like a real like
Show
show
pony.
girl. Like,
Hashtag
ever,
show pony Chandrika Ravi.
literally, I've always been a show girl. You know, everything has been bigger than life.
You're always a performer.
Always, in
Entertainer.
everything I do. Everything I do. You know, even my day-to-day life, my mother's like, "You're such an actress. Can you stop?" And I'm like, "But this is what pays my bills. This is me. You made me like this."
Okay. So what's your parents doing now?
My father is an aeronautical engineering professor. He got his pilot license earlier. My mother she works in medical, like a medical field, but she's a trained like cook and baker and everything like that. But both, my father was very musically inclined. He's learned the tabla and mridangam.
So I was about to ask, whose trades did you get?
So they both were very arts inclined as well.
Okay.
And with my guru, he has created institutions around India and the world. And that's where I learned dancing. I learned from him, and that's how I've actually trained in Kathak from Pandit Birju Maharaj, who passed. But
Nice.
I, from a young age, was exposed to that because my parents had a love for it as well. To the point where my parents always said, Chandrika doesn't need a degree as long as she has the arts in her life. Both me and my sister, they said that. As long as they have some connection to arts, because, you know, in our culture as an Indian, dancing is a form of worship. So I, you know, whether it was hip hop or ballet or Bharatanatyam that I was doing, I went into everything with that worship. I'm doing this because I'm dedicating my life to this, because it's my way of dedicating myself to God at the same time.
Correct. So what's Amma's and Appa's response after this song release?
Honestly, my parents have always been incredibly proud of everything I've done, but the proudness I see in them today, because they know I really did this the right way. I didn't have any handouts, no family in the industry. I'm really this outsider that came and has come being who I am.
You're like self-made, right?
Exactly, completely self-made. You know, I moved to LA with $500 and 3 bags. I had nowhere to stay. I didn't know what I was going to do. I got into one of the best acting universities in the world.
Okay.
Everything I've done has brought me to this moment, and the pride I see in them today, because they have known that I've always wanted to be the first South Indian girl to do what I'm doing.
Okay.
You know, there's never been a South Indian special song girl. There's never been a South Indian special song girl that's done North Indian films. Never. We've always kind of been pushed to the side and never given any attention to say South Indian women can be sex symbols and these gorgeous women. It's never really shown like that. So even in the West, that's my argument there. I show, when I go into auditions, they're like, "You're not Indian." I'm like, "No, I'm Indian. We all look like this. We're all glamorous and beautiful and have that confidence, you know."
Correct.
So I've never seen so much pride in them, because they genuinely know that this is exactly how I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it on my terms. I didn't have to change the way I looked. I didn't have to change the way I dress. I didn't have to change the way I speak. I could be completely unapologetically myself.
Just be yourself.
Exactly.
Correct. So when did this cooking interest happen in your life?
From a young age, my mother, obviously, you know, being like a trained chef, and then my grandmothers were both incredibly, trained chefs.
What's your favorite food from grandmoms?
I'm a pakka South Indian. Like my dad's side, because my dad is Malayali, I love my olan and elcheri, and I love my banana leaf food. Every time I go home to Singapore, I need my banana leaf food when I come in. But then my mother's mother is Singaporean Indian. So I love my, like, you know, chicken curries and all those like, you know, rich Southeast Asian foods. But I can survive on taira sadam every day. You give me taira sadam and pickle every day, I will survive on it. Like, even now in LA, if I'm hungry, I'll make taira sadam and pickle, and I'll put my chips and I'll eat it. That's literally how I still survive.
It's very basic.
I'm very, very simple.
Basic.
Give me plain dosa. I'm very happy. Idli, very happy South Indian girl.
Okay. So what is your favorite food that you cook?
Honestly, I love everything I cook, but I've had this love affair with Italy for my whole life. I studied Italian for like 7 years. I've been to Italy a couple of times. So I love my pastas. I like making a lot of pastas. Like I've posted like a few videos on my Instagram of me making pastas and things. My Indian food also is really good. My friends in the US love my Indian food because at least I can control the spice and stuff for them.
Spice and
So yeah, I honestly I love all my dishes.
Chandrika, what are your future plans?
To take over Indian and American cinema
Woohoo!
in the biggest way possible,
Super.
to really put South Indian girls specifically on the map internationally.
Okay, super. So, do you like to work in Hollywood?
I do. It's a different love that I have for it. I think in America, I have a different training. Our training in acting is very different there. Like I said, auditions and all. It's a very rigid lifestyle. Events and red carpets. It's a big thing there. How you're looked at, where you're being seen, and things like that. But nothing beats Indian cinema. My love is here because I'm a trained dancer, a trained actress, and I can bring both of those loves together. So nothing beats Indian cinema for sure.
Super. So, what kind of roles do you want to play? Like, which excites you? Which role excites you more?
Honestly, I will play anything. My first Tamil film, I played a ghost for half of the film. I was covered in blood and black paint, and then the other half of the film, I was a hot girl. Then I played a villain. I've played, multiple things. I want to be able to show that you don't have to just be typecast because you're beautiful or you have a certain body type or you've done an item song. That's it.
You need to be like a water.
Yeah, I always say, as a doctor, you put your coat on, you go to work, you take your coat off. As an actor, I should be able to play those many different roles up to my choice. In America, I do a lot more of these type of sexier type roles because that's a different argument there. I'm trying to show that we can be those people. Here, I would love to play like a village girl. I would love to play something completely stripped down where I can really show my acting abilities. So I'm open to anything, honestly.
అదే వాటర్ మనం ఏ షేప్ లో వెళ్ళిపోయినా వాటర్ అలా సెట్ అయిపోయి ఉంటుంది కదా అలాగే చంద్రిక
100%. You should be fluid in life. You're not the circumstances around you. If you are able to just manage and adapt and adjust and accommodate, you can get far in life.
Okay. So who's your favorite hero in Tollywood?
I have so many, honestly, but I will definitely have to say, after my interactions with Balia sir, he will always be my favorite. He will always be my favorite because he showed me the humility of a human being of that level. I will never ever forget these experiences and conversations with sir. As a newer artist, a younger woman who's new in the industry in Tollywood, it's like you can't ever create these memories. I didn't even think I was going to ever have those memories. I really thought I would never even talk to sir. Like, hi sir, okay, this is our shot, okay, bye, see you later. That's all I thought. So I definitely have to say sir.
Nice. So let's move on to your bit personal life. Like, can we know who are your best friends?
My best friends I have a very different lifestyle in LA and Australia, obviously. Growing up in Australia, my friends are, they are all different walks of life, married with children. In LA, my friends are the who's who of the entertainment industry, some of the biggest actors, some of the biggest musicians and, athletes. It's a very different lifestyle in LA because all of us are doing something. All of us are equally famous and equally well-known and, known for different things from different backgrounds, different cultures, religions. But they're all somebodies. And it's very inspiring because you're all doing something. Oh, what are you working on? Oh, you're working on a Netflix show? Oh, great. I'm actually going to India for, my movie premiere. And none of them have ever seen a young Indian woman doing films like this. Yes, we have like Priyanka Chopra and stuff, but her audience is very different to mine. My audience is a very broad, young audience of not just Indian people. I have, people from Africa, from Europe, all over the place. So that's why I like showing my life a lot more because for them to see, oh, this Indian girl works in LA, but she lives in India, and oh wow, she's in the middle of India and she's doing promotions and things like that. So it's nice to have best friends like that support you and inspire you as well.
Super. Did anyone say that you doesn't look like an Indian?
100%. I get it all the time.
Okay. What do you feel then?
At first, came with a little bit of anger because
Oh,
I was like, I'm
course,
Indian.
definitely.
You know, I'm Indian. I have already faced so much bullying my whole life and racism being born in Australia.
Racism is
100%. And I was
Good
born
issue,
in
I think.
Australia 33 years ago when it was not common to see young children who were Indian.
Okay.
That too, you know, they expected me to be dark and have coarse hair because my mother was dark and my father was fair. I've faced that racism my whole life. So then having had the training and the years of struggling and acting and working and modeling and all these things, when I would go to an audition, they're like, you're not Indian, you're mixed with something, you must be half Indian. It really bothered me. But then I actually realized it's not their fault. We ourselves in our cinema are not portraying women like me. You know, I hate the word dusky. I hate being called dusky because I'm like, we're from India. We are in a country that is full sun. Like, a lot of us are darker skinned.
when someone puts up this racism thing, what would be your response to them, or
I used to
reaction?
respond to a lot of them, but now I just realize that it's up to me now to change that perception. Because I'm dusky, I can't play the heroine role, but then I have to play a special song. But then because I've done a special song, I can't play. It's like a backwards thing. And I want to change that because in the US, I go to auditions and they're asking me, is that your real skin color? I don't have to fake tan. This is literally my skin color, you know? So how is it that we don't appreciate it, but the whole rest of the world wants our skin color? They literally go outside and tan to get our skin color, you know?
Chandrika, what a wonderful session this was.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely talking to you.
Lovely talking to you too. So finally, before we wind up the show, you want to say something to our audience?
Absolutely. January 12th, this Sankranti. I hope you have all prepared yourself for first day, first shows. We are all going to surprise you guys somewhere in some of the theaters. I'm so excited for you all to watch our labor of love, especially my big launch into Tollywood this year. I'm so thankful for all the love and support you all have given me. I hope you enjoy this film and make it a super, super, super successful hit for years to come.
Why don't you try this in Telugu? I may help you.
Okay.
Okay. Andariki Sankranti Subhakankshalu.
Andriki Sankranti
Subhakankshalu.
Subhakankshalu. Subhakankshalu.
అందరూ సినిమా చూడండి.
అందరూ సినిమా చూడండి.
వీర సింహారెడ్డి.
వీర సింహారెడ్డి. మీకోసం థియేటర్స్ లో
జనవరి 12 నుంచి.
జనవరి 12 నుంచి.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and that was Chandrika Ravi for us. Bold and విషయాలు షేర్ చేసుకున్నారు కదా, and you know, మంచిగా ఉండింది నాకు కూడా ఈ కాన్వర్సేషన్. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video.